Each day at 7 in the morning, residents of the peaceful community observed an incredible sight that never changed. A small girl, only 5 years old, led 5 enormous German shepherds along the road with complete confidence. While some people grinned and others captured the moment on video, her identity remained a mystery to everyone. Questions circulated through hushed conversations. Whose dogs were they? Where could her guardians be? How did such a young child manage them with such flawless control? Dawn had barely broken when gentle footfalls resonated along Maple Street. A young girl emerged through the early fog, appearing no older than 6 and dressed in a vivid pink jacket. 5 adult German shepherds walked in flawless formation at her side, resembling troops following orders. She was never seen with any grown-up. At precisely 7 a.m. each morning, she materialized, took the identical route, and vanished at the turn. Neighborhood residents exchanged tales about her. Some believed she was the child of a fallen service trainer. Others insisted the animals were police property. Yet no one could understand how such a young child commanded 5 strong shepherds with such composed confidence. One day, Mr. Harper attempted to acknowledge her. "Hello there, dear," he said warmly. However, the shepherds immediately surrounded her protectively, their gaze fixed on him intensely. The child remained silent. She merely angled her head slightly, produced a soft whistle, and the dogs continued forward. Residents started recording her daily walks. Videos spread across social platforms. Upon closer examination, the dogs weren't simply accompanying her, they were protecting her. Regularly, one shepherd would look backward. Another would survey what lay ahead. The young girl showed no fear, displayed no happiness, never uttered a word. Only that identical calm, somewhat eerie expression filled her face that a newcomer called Ethan Cole observed from his terrace. Having recently relocated to the area, he found the scene unbelievable. The situation seemed excessively flawless, excessively orchestrated. He seized his camera and captured an image. Ethan's uploaded video became an overnight sensation. Countless viewers watched in amazement. Theory after theory filled the comment areas. Before long, television reporters started appearing. Yet the young girl appeared unaffected, continuing her silent walks with her dogs like a general directing her soldiers. Ethan found himself unable to dismiss his fascination. He repeatedly reviewed his recorded footage. In a single close-up shot, he noticed something everyone else had overlooked. A slight scar marked the girl's wrist, and on a dog's collar hung a small metallic emblem resembling a police insignia. Throughout his 35 years, Ethan had witnessed much. Being a former investigative reporter, surprises rarely came his way anymore. Yet this young girl awakened a fascination he hadn't experienced in years. The dog's movements each morning showed surgical-like precision. This wasn't coincidental conduct. This demonstrated specialized training. One day, his curiosity overwhelmed him. Ethan chose to trail them. They walked past recognizable locations, then veered onto a slim side road leading toward the community's outskirts. Upon arriving at the final residence on that street, she halted. The dwelling appeared abandoned, flaking paint, damaged fencing. However, once she crossed through the entrance, the dog's alertness dissolved completely. Ethan crouched down behind nearby foliage. "Very well," he whispered, maintaining focus on the neglected home. "Time to discover your true identity." The following day, Ethan maintained a cautious distance while following. The dogs glided like phantoms alongside her, coordinated and soundless. A passing vehicle rumbled dangerously close, prompting the dogs to immediately create a protective wall before her. Their response was rapid and rehearsed. These were more than household pets. They were specialized operatives. Upon reaching the park, she settled onto a bench as the dogs positioned themselves in a perimeter around her. They didn't dash away or pursue wildlife. They maintained their protective stance. She nourished each one tenderly, stroking their heads, murmuring phrases he couldn't discern. This wasn't a youngster pretending to be courageous. This was an individual bearing a burden far exceeding her years. During a cloudless morning, everything transformed. A motorbike came racing along the road. The young girl became motionless, her eyes widening. The shepherds sprang into response. The biggest dog thrust himself forward, positioning his body between the girl and the approaching motorcycle. Rubber squealed against pavement, and the bike barely avoided them. Ethan rushed to the other side. "Is everything all right?" The dogs whirled around immediately, exposing their fangs. The girl knelt down next to her primary dog. "Quiet now, everything's fine, Bravo," she murmured. "You performed well, Bravo." That name struck Ethan like electricity. This wasn't a typical pet's name. This was an official service designation. Before he could inquire further, the dogs quickly escorted her away, leaving Ethan motionless with questions racing through his thoughts. Sleep eluded Ethan that evening. When morning arrived, he had returned to the vicinity of the old residence. After she departed for her routine walk, he moved around to the rear. Within a storage shed lay discarded food containers, shredded bedding, and weathered leashes. Then something caught his attention. A timber crate bearing faint lettering, K9 Unit Property of Metro Police. His pulse quickened. These were official police K9s. But through what circumstances had a young girl come to possess 5 of them? A week later, a vehicle bearing animal control markings stopped outside the residence. 2 officials emerged. Immediately, barking erupted, powerful, booming, authoritative. 5 German shepherds materialized at the barrier, fur bristling. Amidst the commotion, the young girl stepped into the entrance. "Enough!" she shouted. All 5 dogs retreated. One official spoke up. "Young lady, are your guardians present?" She moved her head side to side slowly. "Only we remain. Reports have reached us, child. Keeping so many dogs by yourself isn't permitted." Moisture filled her eyes. "I beg you not to remove them. They're everything remaining to me." The senior official exhaled deeply. "This requires official documentation. Tomorrow we'll return accompanied by Child Protective Services." The heavens opened violently that evening. Gusts screamed. Rainfall hammered the ground. Ethan gazed outward into the tempest. His intuition suggested something would occur. Through the downpour, he observed the entrance swinging violently. Left ajar, he reacted instantly. Dashing into the weather, he arrived at the house and detected faint barking sounds. He tested the entrance, secured. He forced it harder and toppled inward. From beyond a sofa, Bravo appeared, saturated and trembling. The animal whimpered and guided him down the darkened corridor. There she lay, huddled next to 2 elderly dogs, her pink jacket drenched. Ethan knelt beside her, verifying her heartbeat. Faint yet consistent. While lifting her, his light revealed a mounted photograph. A uniformed man standing with 5 German shepherds. His identification displayed, Officer Daniel Carter, K9 Unit. The similarity was unmistakable. She was his child. When morning broke, patrol vehicles arrived at the neglected house. They proceeded with caution and froze in place. Enclosures bordered the walls, not confinement cells, but maintained ones, containing blankets. Wounded shepherds recuperated within with wrapped limbs. This wasn't an animal pound. This was a refuge. Mounted photographs covered the wall. Uniformed personnel, K9 teams, awards. Officer Daniel Carter's image occupied the central position. Fixed adjacent to it was a press cutting. Local K9 officer dies in line of duty. The officials became hushed. This wasn't abandonment. This was inheritance. Upon Ethan's return that day, he discovered a timber access door. Underneath existed a tribute. Walls decorated with photographs, insignias, commendations. At the focal point rested a container draped with a ceremonially folded police banner. Officer Carter's photograph sat atop. Approaching footsteps sounded. The young girl positioned herself behind him. "I anticipated your arrival," she spoke gently. She approached the container. He transported these dogs to every location. After he failed to return, they were relocated. Yet Bravo located me once more and guided me here. This belonged to my father. I simply continued his work. "You accomplished all this alone?" Ethan questioned softly. She confirmed with a nod. "He once told me, Heroes don't always display badges. Occasionally they possess paws. I vowed never to abandon them. Moisture blurred Ethan's vision. You fulfilled his vow more completely than anyone possibly could. When the next morning came, the information had circulated. What started as internet fascination had evolved into something significantly more profound, a discovery that impacted the community. Officials who examined the house couldn't maintain the confidence. By midday, journalists had returned. However, this occasion they were pursuing a champion. The broadcast aired that evening. Newspaper headlines announced, "6-year-old carries on fallen officer's legacy." Contributions poured inward. Officials volunteered assistance. The community that previously criticized now started to respect her, the girl who transformed grief into inheritance. However, the publicity proved overwhelming. Throughout a recognition event at the police headquarters, she fainted. Medical responders transported her urgently to St. Mary's Hospital. The dogs declined to depart, remaining outside through the rainfall. At daybreak, a medical professional opened the entrances. "Her condition has stabilized. Your entry is permitted now." 5 shepherds proceeded soundlessly along the passageway. Bravo climbed up carefully, settling near her palm. Her eyelids opened gradually. "Bravo," she breathed. Beyond the room, a gathering had assembled. Chief Reynolds stepped into her quarters. "Your father represented the most courageous individual I've encountered," he stated, affixing a commendation to her covering. "And presently everyone understands his daughter possesses the identical spirit." She gazed at Bravo. "He would feel pride, correct?" "His pride already exists." Beyond the building, the open space filled with clapping. The young girl displayed happiness. Genuine happiness, radiant and liberated. As sunlight ascended further, Bravo vocalized once, a resonant, prideful sound. Chief Reynolds addressed the gathering. "This day we recognize Officer Daniel Carter and the daughter who advanced his purpose beyond what any of us could have envisioned." She lowered herself beside her dogs. "We succeeded, companions. Father would feel proud." Ethan positioned himself beside her. "An entire community now supports you. What path will you choose?" "I'll continue assisting dogs resembling them, the ones rejected by others." He laughed quietly. "Then our tasks await us." As they departed, sunlight bathed everything in golden light. The dogs moved forward, 6 spirits pulsing with unified purpose, connected by shared inheritance. Because presently everyone understood the reality. She wasn't merely a youngster exercising her dogs. She was a hero's daughter, the guardian of a vow, and the soul of every faithful creature who'd ever anticipated someone's homecoming.